Okay, our penultimate pre-final of round 2. We head to KZ2 Masters. Of course, KZ2 known for its absolutely iconic starts. Standing starts for these, and also KZ for not just Masters, but also KZ2. Jeroen Bosz took pole position by 6/1000ths of a second earlier on today in time qualifying. Wesley de Waal alongside on the front row. Bas Steens and Martin Peters complete row 2. Niels Costa and Glenn van den Hoek ran out row 3. Edgar Oosting and William Klooster ran out row 4, with William van der Gaai and Mick Bertram rounding out the top 10. Davide Caruso and Danny Stockman round out row 6, with Mark Verhoeven and Floris Schouten rounding out row 7. Gert van den Brink and Fabrice Breuker round out row 8, and completing the 20-strong grid, it's Benno Ridder, René Cleven, Kenny Shippers and Martin Versteeg completing the order. So the drivers will line up on the starting grid as the KZ2s are getting themselves ready to be escorted into the dummy grid. So this, again, is just a personification of the top tier of karting. KZ2 Masters, their International Super Cup at Wackersdorf last year, won by the legendary Davide Fori. So, the field lines up, all 10 rows, all 20 competitors, revving to keep the engines lubricated. So, green flag waves at the back, drivers steel themselves and ready for 10 minutes plus 2 laps of racing. Here we go, wait for it, brace, and we're underway. And oh my goodness, someone got a launch and a half, spat the back axle sideways, and they went straight down the middle, nearly lost it all on the same point as well, into turn 4 for the first time. Now accelerating up the gearbox, up to 6th gear. They're going to bang down several gears. And it's going to be a battle for second. Oh, that's Bas Steen around and nearly gets collected by the 141 of Glenn van den Hoek, who lost a few positions on the race starts. Oh, and there's more dramas. That was the 142, I believe. Martin Versteeg that just got caught out and was skywards. 141 also having a drama in their own right. That was Glenn van den Hoek, who started in 5th place and got up to, well, 6th place. But it's Jeroen Bosz that leads the way. Wesley de Waal in 2nd, 8.5 tenths behind. Then it's Mick Bertram, who's catapulted from 10th to 3rd in the race order. Niels Costa up from 5th to 4th. Martin Peters down from 4th to 5th place. A little bit of adjustment on the left-hand side of the chassis for the majority of the drivers. Of course, these karts producing the best spot of nearly 40 horsepower. Also, someone who's very much in the mix when it comes to shifter karts. Just go and have a chat with Stan Pex, multi-time winner, podium finisher, and also a champion in his own right. But there has been a change. Peters has lost out to Klooster in the meantime. That was the battle for 5th place. But Jeroen Bosz leading the way. Mick Bertram, new fastest lap of the race, 46.079. So Bas Steen has dropped all the way down to stone dead last. It's not been a good one for to 19th, and has just got past Martin Versteeg. On the Sodi kart, however, there is an attempt, and that just goes to show one person tries to get through And then everyone else fancies their own opportunity in their own right. Did try and catch the number. There is a blue flag being waved on the run down through into turn 5. There's the brightly coloured 112 car, Benno Ridder. Right, 142. There's Martin Versteeg, who has literally come to a standstill. So that is going to be the battle, I think, for 4th place. Well, I'm not too sure. It was Edgar Oosting on the 102 with William van der Kaai, who's looking up the inside. Van der Kaai nearly loses it under braking. And Van der Kaai tries to get the crisscross going into turn 5. He's got Edgar Oosting not too far behind. 7.25 minutes left to go. Everyone's trying to chance their opportunity of getting through. Davide Caruso on the Charles Leclerc chassis, trying to get through on Benno Ridder. Didn't get through, unfortunately. But William van der Kaai trying to put the pressure on to Edgar Oosting on the Sodicart chassis, the 102. Sodicart have been trying over the past few years to get a Gearbox World title, and it hasn't quite worked out by the manufacturer, led by Bertrand Pignolet. Of course, bit of a dive bomb up the inside. Someone thought they'd chance it with the Danny Rick and got through. And that was on one of the Maranello SRPs. So, of course, Niels Droger winning the KZ2 World Cup at Wackersdorf last year. Still remember watching that one, and that was a great battle. Nearly had the opportunity of somebody else getting a chance. But with 6 minutes still to go, Jeroen Bos is leading by a comfortable 1.4 seconds ahead of Wesley de Waal. Mick Bertram still running in P3, but it is Edgar Oosting who has the fastest lap of the race, 44.738 seconds. This just goes to show how you have to be cornering on rails in KZ2, and you've really got to have your wits about you. You are shifting gears, you're downshifting, you're braking, you're turning the kart in. You're trying to carry that momentum through, and with the obscene amount of horsepower being developed, being pumped through the back axle, sometimes if you get a bit trigger happy on that throttle, what can happen, and as we saw on the start, it is the case that you will have some drivers getting a bit wayward, as in the back end steps out from left to right. Right, Callum Bradshaw would call that crossed up. Jeroen Bos now leads by nearly 2 seconds. We're halfway through this KZ2 Masters pre-final, so Jeroen Bos looking very, very good indeed for the final a little bit later on. Wesley de Waal, Mick Bertram rounds out the top 3. Niels Koster, William Klooster, that is your top 5. Koster up 1 place from 5th, Klooster up from 8th, and is currently P5. Martin Peters in the number 124 has dropped 7 positions over the course of the last 5.5 minutes. Started 4th, now 11th. So Mark Verhoeven was the one that did the dive bomb a little bit earlier on. I was trying to make out which kart it was that decided to dive bomb up the inside of a Maranello chassis a little bit earlier on. Glenn Vandenhoek has not had a good race either. The number 141 started 6th, now 16th. Obviously with that moment, a bit earlier on in the race, around about turn 5, turn 6. 60% of the time are elapsed so far, 4 minutes to go. Plus 2 laps, Jeroen Bos is still pushing the envelope and has just put in the new fastest lap of the race, having taken that away. But now it's gone back to Edgar Oosting. It's like Oosting and Bos are trading fastest laps quicker than I've had hot Sunday roast dinners. Meantime, move up the inside into turn. Oh, that was a bit messy there for Niels Koster, trying to get past Mick Bergstrom for 3rd place. Koster, I think, overcooked it a little bit. Nearly went over the back bumper of Bertram and ended up going a bit deep into the corner itself. So you've got to be very, very careful sometimes on how you sort of judge it rightly. So Koster trying to get past and get through. 3 minutes, 10 seconds still remaining. You can see that there's everyone's watching by the guardrails here on the start-finish straight, and also just by the where the main paddock area is. So Klooster has got through. Klooster now up into third place in the triple one, up now 5 positions from P8 to third. Oosting still has the fastest lap of the race, 43.710. Still have 2 minutes and 40 left to go on the timer. And then we'll have our last pre-final before we get onto the business end of round 2 of the 2024 season. But there is the man out in front. The 198 of SP Motorsports, Jeroen Bos, leading quite comfortably, 2.4 seconds ahead of Wesley Duval, and new fastest lap by the race leader, 43.518 seconds. Personal best from everyone in the top 4. Niels Koster, no personal best there for the 122 of 43.982, and was just over a tenth and a bit slower than Mick Berghem. And there is, oh, now that is not a very well 169. That's the CRG of Fabrice Bröcker from Germany, who pulls to the right-hand side. There was smoke from the right rear of the vehicle, and that was probably from the exhaust, and he's just signalling to the marshals. Yeah, cart's had it. I can't go any further. So that is another that's a retirement. So 2 out of 20. That's a tenth of the field. Now no longer taking any further participation in this pre-final. New fastest lap of the race. Oh, hold the phone. Wesley Duval with a 43.374, nearly bang on 0.2 of a second quicker than Jeroen Bos. Gap now down to 2.243 seconds. We're on lap number 12. We've got a minute and a quarter left to go. Jeroen Bos just getting on with the business at hand. A minute to go as the leader goes through, and again Wesley Duval, another new fastest. Well, that was had the fastest lap of the race. Niels Koster has just gone 2 100ths quicker in 5th, 43.349. So that's Sodi Kart, the 102. The 122, not the Sodi Kart. My apologies there, Niels. I might have called a chassis wrong there. KZ2 Masters. Let's have a look, shall we? Burrell Art. But yeah, Jeroen Bos has just absolutely bossed it. Just not needed to do anything else apart from pull a gap, stay in front, and lead every single lap. Okay, 3 laps to go. We're on lap number 14 out of 16. There's the battle for P3, and that is intensifying. Klooster, Berghem, and Koster. Oosting is not too far away. He's about 0.9 of a second adrift as the timer hits 0 as our race leader goes through turn number 5. So if Berghem and Klooster start battling, Koster will be with them. Well, actually, Oosting will be with them. So yeah, this is going to be very, very close indeed. So there is Koster. Oosting has demolished that nearly a second gap. So 2 to go. The gap has now expanded between the race leaders. New fastest lap, Jeroen Bos, 43.073. And third is going to be right down to the wire. They're scrabbling for traction coming out of turn 4, I just spotted. Glenn Vandenhoek has got past Benno Ridder for 13th place. But Jeroen Bos, after this, will have 1,100 metres of this tarmac to negotiate. And it has been flawless from the SB Motorsport driver. Just look at the poise and the commitment from Jeroen Bos. Last lap board is being shown. Tweak on the carburetor on the right-hand side. A really, really good job, and is about to lap another kart, but 4th is still undecided. Mick Berghem still leads that battle as Edgar Oosting is still trying to get past Niels Koster. But there is Jeroen Bos, absolutely a dynamite performance. A standout. It's been nigh on perfection for the 198, who comes through turn 10. Now turn 11 beckons, and it's lights out to checkered flag for Jeroen Bos in the pre-final for KZ2 Masters, winning ahead of Wesley Duval, so it'll be a repeat of the front row, and it's going to be Klooster 3rd, Berghem 4th, Costa and Oosting that round out the top 6. William van der Kaai manages to take 7th at the flag ahead of Danny Stockman. Floris Schouten and Mark Verhoeven round out the top 10. Martin Peters, Davide Caruso, Glenn Vandenhoek, Benno Ridder, Gert Vandenbrink, Bastien round out the 16th finished. But I haven't seen Rennie Cleven and Kenny Shippers. Ah, right. Here comes one. That is Rennie Cleven. And here is Kenny Shippers about to come across the line in the 1:43 with Fabrice Brugge and Martin Versteeg out on laps 9 and 6, respectively.